Hey guys, time for phonics and language. Today I picked out a Go Noodle video all about prefixes and suffixes that I want you to watch before watching this video. So make sure you watch that as a little warm-up instead of doing your phonics charts today, and then come back and watch this video and we'll talk about the directions for today's lesson. So today we are doing phonics and language, page 295 to 296. And before we get into that, we're going to review one more time all the different types of words that we've learned. So the first one is a noun. A noun is a person, place, or thing. Any person, place, or thing. That is what we are talking about in our sentence, the who or what our sentence is about. Then we have a verb. A verb is an action word. That's the thing happening in a sentence. So every sentence must have a noun and a verb. Then, to make our sentences much more interesting, we can add adjectives. Adjectives describe a noun. They make the noun, the person, place, or thing more interesting, more details about that person, place, or thing. Then we could also add adverbs to make our verb more interesting. They describe a verb. An adverb describes a verb just like it says in the word adverb. And it makes the whole action more interesting, more details about the action that's happening. So, noun, verb, we have to have no matter what. Just like we always have to have a capital letter and punctuation, we always have to have a noun and a verb. Adjective and adverb make the sentence much more interesting. You're not going to want to read a book that just has noun, verb sentences in it. You're going to want to read a book that has adjectives and adverbs in those sentences as well to make the whole story much more interesting. Now that leads us to our phonics and language page 295. Well, let's go over the directions. So at the top, it's a reminder box. Make sure you read that to yourself, but I will also read it to you right now. Add ER to an adjective when comparing two things. Add EST to an adjective when comparing three or more things. So, section 1 says, read the sentences. Circle the correct adjective. What you're going to decide between is an adjective, a regular adjective, an adjective with ER when you're comparing two things, or an adjective with EST on the end when you're comparing three or more things. So you're reading through that whole paragraph, and there's 3 times that you're going to pick which word fits best in that sentence. Look for the parentheses, that's going to help you, and then it has the 3 words in a row, and you're going to pick one of those words that fits best in that sentence. Then there's another reminder box. It says, adjectives describe nouns. Adverbs describe verbs. Adverbs often end in ly. Now, section 2 says, read the sentences and circle the correct words. So you need to read carefully and decide, is it time for it to be an adjective or to use an adverb? Adjective describes the noun, adverb describes the verb. So you have to read the sentences very carefully and decide, all right, what is this verb? What does this word describe? Is this word that I'm looking at cheerful or cheerfully? Is it describing a noun? Then I need to use cheerful. Is it describing a verb? Then I need to use cheerfully. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words you're going to circle total in that paragraph. So let's look at the first one. In first sentence, does Ranger Hansen have a cheerfully face or a cheerful face? Cheerful tells us what kind of face he has. So cheerful is an adjective. So the first one, Ranger Hansen greeted us with a cheerful or cheerfully face this morning. It's describing the word face. What kind of face? That means we're going to use an adjective and we're going to circle the word cheerful. So let me show you this reminder. Adjective answers the question, what kind or how many? An adverb answers the question, how. How did the action happen? Then that brings us down to dictation. We are writing 2 sentences again, 1 on each line. Remember, we always start our sentences with a capital letter, no matter what, and then we always end them with punctuation. So listen carefully so you know what punctuation to write for these sentences. Here's the first one. It is so cold. more time. It is so cold. Moving on to that next sentence on the second line. Here's your new sentence for the second line. That bug is huge. That bug is huge. One more time. That bug is huge. And that brings us to the next page, page 296. So you get to have a little bit more fun on page 296. For section 1, it says write a class advertisement. So that would just be an ad to get you to buy something. For a fun new toy, write an adjective for each blue noun. Write an adverb for each red verb. So they give you little hints underneath the lines to ask you what question to answer those to answer on the line. So the first one says underneath the line, what kind of toy? Because toy is highlighted in blue, so you're gonna write an adjective in front of the toy. And what kind of toy do you want to sell to your class? How are you gonna get them to buy it? So you get to decide whatever toy you want to sell to everyone else in the class. You're going to make up this ad to try and get them to buy it. And then if you see words in red, those are verbs, and you're going to decide an adverb to describe that verb. Fill out all of those blanks in that whole paragraph, and then that brings you to section 2 where you get to actually draw your toy that you are writing this ad for. So you get to draw it with lots of detail so I can see what it actually is going to look like. And then that brings us to section 3. 3 says read the sentences, circle the correct word in each. So these are words that are homonyms. They sound the same, but they're spelled differently and they mean different things. So you need to read the sentence carefully to decide which word needs to be used here. Mom bought some flour to make bread for dinner. Which flour spelling are you going to use? F-L-O-U-R or F-L-O-W-E-R? They mean different things even though they sound exactly the same. Because they're spelled differently, they mean different things. Make sure you pick the right one to fit in that sentence. Let me know if you have any questions, and that's it for Phonics and Language. Bye.